Good morning and welcome back to BIFA TV, your daily dose of industry information. Today, Pawel joins us to share his reflections on the new UK trade strategy, a topic which has constantly been a developing story. So Pawel, over to you. How are you doing this morning?
Thank you. Good morning, Natalie. Good morning, everybody. And thank you again for inviting me here.
Yeah.
Right? It's only about 15 steps away from our office, but it's always good to be here. Yes, the trade strategy, something that the government released at the end of last month, I think it was the 26th of June, that we could actually sort of get the document, read it. A big document. We're not going to talk about the entire thing. We'll focus mostly on Chapter 5, which I believe is the one that is of interest to our members and as supporting businesses to trade and grow. And that's what we want to see as freight forwarders, because we want to see importers, exporters growing. We want to see traffic and volumes in trade picking up, because we move that.
Absolutely. So why is this topic of most importance to our members?
There's a number of interesting sort of I don't want to say assumptions, but there's quite a lot of information that may be of interest to our members. And I've got that list of things that I've sort of pulled out of the document. So I'll do a bit of reading. It's not perhaps the most interesting kind of stuff to read, but I think it's quite important. So what we're going to find in the document is information about investing in a customs declaration service, for example. So that's something that we're very much interested in. We'll also find information about the government work to better join up HMRC systems. Again, when we talk about this, that's something that we've always been advocating for.
Sure.
We want a much more streamlined, much more joined up operation at the border. We'll find information about improving services at the border. We'll find information about co-designing with business a voluntary standard for customs intermediaries, something that we've mentioned on BIFA TV before, and members should know that we're part of the steering group, and we work on behalf of the freight forwarding and customs agency, customs agents, to make sure that the standard is actually fit for purpose.
Sure.
So that's something that we found in the documents. We've obviously heard about agreeing a sanitary and phytosanitary agreement with the EU, and that's also in the trade strategy. So we'll find a reference to it. We'll also find a reference to the single trade window, or a single trade window. We don't know what it's going to look like, but BIFA is definitely interested in promoting this solution. We know that, again, just like we mentioned earlier, the current setup at the border is not as joined up as it should be. We still complain about how information is not used efficiently, whereas it could be. So that's something that we would like to see developed, and obviously that's something that we're going to help the government delivering over time. We obviously want to see more in terms of that sort of IT development. We want to see a much more modern border, and it's very good to see these commitments in the trade strategy, because this is something that we can work with the government on, and this is something that we would like to help the government deliver to our members, because we're obviously vitally interested. But most importantly, what we are interested in is trade growth.
Sure.
Trade grows, our members grow with it. And that's why it's good to have this document in the first place. And well, hopefully we'll see over the next few years, and I'm realistic, these trade strategies, these multi-annual documents, these are not documents which will materialize over the next few weeks or even months. We're talking about a longer term strategy. But if we see a degree of commitment that we would like to see from the government, I think it's good news for our members.
Absolutely. It sounds like there's a lot of rolling our sleeves up and a lot of opportunities for BIFA to get involved to help shape elements of that strategy and bring it to life.
Absolutely, and like I'm saying, when you read about CDS, when you read about this sort of more joined up approach at the border, when you read about a single trade window, whatever that single trade window could look like, we don't know at the moment. We have some ideas when we're in discussions with various government departments about this. It's good news. Obviously, there's always a question of financing. These are big projects, let's be honest. These are not projects that can just, we come here and discuss it and in the next few months we've got this delivered. No, it's not going to work like that. We need to see that sort of commitment, financial commitment as well. But if we see that there is that sort of thought already given to it, I think is good news for our members.
Absolutely. It seems like elements of strategy are things that, as you said, you've been, and the rest of the team here at BIFA have been campaigning for, or at least advocating on behalf of our members for quite some time.
Absolutely. It very much goes in line with what we've been doing over the past few years, actually. I could probably go and say, well, listen, that's what we wanted. I wouldn't go as far as saying that.
Sure.
I think it would just be too much. But definitely, I can definitely tell that the government has heard some of our calls. And the government understands, thanks to us in many ways, to the industry. We go and we talk. We're practical people, and we want to see practical solutions. So I think it is a response to our needs, asks, and concerns as well.
That's great. Pawel, thank you very much for joining us this
Natalie.
morning. As we mentioned, this is a developing story, so please stay tuned for BIFA TV as we'll be sharing more episodes on this topic. That's all for today's episode of BIFA TV, your daily dose of industry information.